to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark. And I'm so excited for tonight's show, Ted.
Tonight's show is very exciting, Cara, and we have a very exciting guest with us as well tonight. Featured guest, I want to welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark, Yaron Saghiv, who's the Chief Marketing Officer at UVI. Yaron, welcome.
Thank you, Cara and Ted. Great to be here.
Great to have you as well. And now, Cara, we are live tonight, are we not?
We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you're watching us, make sure you share the video and comment down below if you have any questions tonight.
All right, good. And I want to do a quick shout out as we get started tonight to our After Dark exclusive sponsor, that is BG Products, partners beyond products. And we are very grateful to BG for all that they do for the industry. So some congratulations are in order this evening to the UVI team. Don Brady, good evening. I want to congratulate you, Yaron, and your team on being one of the Automotive News All-Stars announced earlier today. We got a picture here of Amir, who is the CEO. And Yaron, congratulations. I know a lot of hard work has gone into that announcement as Fixed Ops Vendor of the Year. That's no easy task.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's obviously a very humbling experience. Automotive news are massive, and it's just been a heck of a journey here in the United States for us in the last couple of years. So definitely getting some recognition is really a lot of fun. But I don't want to be cheesy, but it really is. It's really a team effort, and we have a big and wonderful team both in the United States and in Israel and a few other countries, and it's really all them. It's no one in particular.
Well, I want to ask you about the team and the technology. Cara and I were talking a little bit off camera earlier today. And Cara, it seems that every time we feature UVI on here, and that has been a couple times now this year, the technology is amazing and it captivates so many people.
It honestly blows my mind, Ted. And every time that I even think about UVI or I learn more about it, I'm constantly impressed. So I'm ready to hear from you tonight and learn a little bit more about UVI.
And a lot of fascinating things also that have come up these last couple months, and some videos that we've shared as well from UVI. Excited to see that. And also, Yaron, earlier this year, some congratulations on a big announcement with General Motors that occurred. And you've done a lot to advance that as well over the last few months.
Yeah, I think we really had an intense, but obviously very positive year. Because on one hand, like Cara said, the technology is super impressive. In the end of the day, we know how to look at a vehicle and tell you everything you want to know about it by its exterior, right? Whether it's safety issues, mechanical issues, but how do you really translate that to be a tangible product that could really affect the customer experience at the dealership, or appraise a car better, or have the average person enter a dealership and actually see almost like an MRI scan of his car. And I think that this year, really all the cards stacked up in the right way. We got some recognition from Volvo Cars in the United States, and obviously General Motors. We have CarMax, which is a strategic investors of ours. So we got some really good folks with us that are helping us learn the industry better and scale this product right, and really make a difference, whether it's for fixed ops, but also for used cars and new cars and processes around that. So it's all about the customer experience for us. And this year, 1 month after the other, has been really, really something spectacular for us.
Wow.
And I see we have a couple of folks in the house tonight. I see Ray, I see Roger, I see Jeff Daniel, Amir. I would encourage that. Yes, go, Yaron. Okay, so I think we're in good hands. And Samantha Foster, I think you were right about all that. So I remember earlier this year, Yaron, just when she was about to join your team, how excited Samantha was at the outset about being able to join UVI, and was just giddy over all the technology that you were showing, which really is changing the shape of dealerships and how they're going to do business in the future.
Yeah. First of all, you speak about Samantha and others. I mean, we are originally from Israel. It's important to say. So as you know, founders and executives, we're not originally from automotive, but we took this kind of computer vision and artificial intelligence technology, and we had both the luck, and also, you know, we pushed hard to find the right people and surround ourselves with the right people from the industry, whether it's dealers that we work with, whether it's people that work with us, and we, you know, it's like you said, what we're talking about now, rather than the UVI technology, is what we call the UVI impact. We're talking about how this kind of visual aid, visual tools can really make an impact on every customer that enters the store, on every advisor, whether it's helping them tell a more transparent story, whether it's helping them sell additional services that you really need and you didn't think about. If it's below your car, if it's the tires, tread depth, sidewall damage, expired date, things that people didn't even think about before. So I think that it's just about getting the eyeballs in the right place in the right time, and we, as you mentioned, the influence and, you know, the effect that we're seeing is, as time goes by, is just increasing of stores that are they just can't, you know, they can't imagine a day in the business without UVI, basically, and that's the biggest compliment for us.
Well, I want to go back a couple months. We had a panel on the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and we had a young lady named Lauren Paddock from Buffalo, New York, from Paddock Chevrolet, who was describing the technology. And on that panel was Bill Demery, the Fixed Ops director from the Tom Wood Automotive Group, who's in Indianapolis, who was telling everybody how he had ordered his first UVI and was waiting for it to come in. This is maybe back in September. And he was starting to explain it, but it wasn't until we showed the video that everybody, I think, took kind of a step back, Yaron, and said, wow, this is a game changer. So if it's okay, I'm going to show that quick video of UVI with General Motors, just to kind of give everybody an overview of what it is that we're talking about and this great game changer. So Jim Bayline, who is on with us, I see tonight in the chat, was on that panel, Yaron, and he was telling us, as we watch this, a really interesting story about how UVI technology was first developed and maybe how that technology has evolved for automotive applications. And I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind maybe sharing some of that with us tonight.
Sure. So actually, we came from a bit of a different market or industry. Around 2016, we actually, our co-founder, Amir, who is the CEO, had a personal experience of driving to a very sensitive facility, a government organization with his vehicle. And then he had a guard jump below, and he asked him, like, dude, what are you doing? And he said, I'm looking for bombs. He said, can you see anything? So he said, no, but there's a CCTV over there, and if something happens later, I did my job. So, which is obviously, you know, an answer which you don't want to expect from a security guard, right? But that kind of sparked the idea that that very simple kind of task of looking below a vehicle for illicit materials, whether it's bombs, whether it's drug smuggling, whether it's IEDs, anything like that. Think about border patrol, control. Sorry, think about military, think about embassies, seaports, airports. You don't really need a guard or a man or a woman with a mirror. It's not efficient. It's dangerous. It's, it wastes time. It's not accurate. And it was essentially, let's replace that and put a scanner below the vehicle that you could just drive above it, and within seconds could kind of indicate and show you if anything doesn't belong to the vehicle, whether it's modifications, bombs, weapons, anything concealed, and so on. And that kind of technology, was first of all, spot on something that people needed. So we were selling this from day one to dozens of customers all across the world, including the United States. But what was interesting there is that while we were scaling this, is that we started understanding that this brain that we are training to look at the vehicle components and look below to find those bombs and illicit materials is actually picking up other things, which were oil leaks and water leaks and broken parts. And on the other hand, OEM manufacturers, like Skoda, like a couple of German ones, like Toyota and others later on, started approaching us. Israel is actually quite a big hub for smart mobility and automotive. And they started approaching us and said, hey, can you guys install this in our plant and start looking below vehicles for quality assurance when they're on the conveyor belt or at some point in the factory floor in the plant? And we said, yeah, we'll give it a shot. And this was around 5 years ago or something like that. And fast forward, we understood that there is a much more, I would say, robust market here of any other facility, which could be dealership, repair shop, rental, auctions, fleets. Everyone have the same common denominator, which is they want to inspect the vehicles, they want to understand more about it, and they want to do it fast. And a lot of it is still manual. So it kind of took us some time to say, okay, we've got this underbody scanner that's being used for security and is saving lives and very, it's a super kind of important task, but can we add more angles and can we look all around the vehicles? And that's when we added the tire scanners and we added the body scanner. And today it's a full suite solution. It's actually a one-stop shop, which is a Swiss Army knife, which shows you everything you need to know around your vehicle. Again, mechanical issues below, alignment, uneven wear issues, tread depth, reading all the text around the tire. We keep evolving and looking at more and more elements which are visual that require attention, whether it's the person that is actually driving through the service drive, whether it's a car appraiser, whether it's when you buy a vehicle online, whether it's a technician. So it's all about saving time and giving a better experience. And that's how kind of the story led us, actually. We didn't lead the story. The story led us from security to automotive, which is where we are today, whether it's working with some of the biggest OEMs in the world, in the United States, or some auctions and fleets, which is probably the next big stories for 2023 for us.
I'm fascinated by the different usages of UVI as well. I remember we had a conversation last summer with Samantha. I think Jim may have been on in that conversation as well. And you suggested that one of the things that we talk about was on the used vehicle side, how UVI is used in the reconditioning process and can be used. And actually, we did the whole panel based on reconditioning, and a lot of folks said, I want that new reconditioning technology. And I remember a number of us said, reconditioning, they said UVI, that's the one that's used for so they didn't even think about it on the service drive. They talked about it as far as the used car process, which I thought was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think some people try to pigeonhole us in this kind of vendor or that kind of vendor. That's not the case. We are a holistic visual tool that enhances customer experience and gives you any insight that you need in any angle around the vehicle. So it could be used for, obviously when you come to service and you wouldn't even have the vehicle on the lift. Maybe you just came to replicate your keys or even wash your car. And then, you drive over the system and you discover something that maybe in a couple of weeks is going to be a much more serious problem that needs your attention. It could be, obviously, if you come in for a winter check, winter is upon us right now, right? And you have 7-year-old tires. There's some American folks, actually a lot, over 3 or 4% that are driving with 7, 8, 9-year-old tires, which is, that's crazy to me at least. and suddenly you are aware of it, and you know that it's a safety hazard. It could be even a rubber scuff or cut or a bulge on the side of the tire that you wouldn't even notice, but for the OE recommendation, that's something that's a safety hazard. So you need to know about it in time, and that's what our technology provides with all this with these touch points and this experience. But then on the other hand, like you mentioned exactly, you want to appraise a car, but you're not, especially with the situation in the used car market here today, and you folks know better than me. Everybody buys everything there is, right? But do you really check every vehicle? Is there a chicken wire below that is tying an exhaust pipe that is not in the right place? So we can give that visibility, whether it's for the dealer when he's buying a car and looking what is the true valuation for transparency, but also later on with one click to your website with 360-degree photos and the real condition of the tires, of below. We can even do what we call a 3D rust map, showing you different areas and trying to understand if the vehicle has been through a flood. So these all these touch points. I'm not even talking yet about collision and insurance purposes. We've seen people that drove over, they saw that their catalytic converter was obviously stolen or missing, and they printed it out and sent that to the police and to the insurance. So we're seeing a lot of different use cases, whether it's for the general manager, whether it's for the parts and inventory manager, which can now in one click understand how many vehicles are coming into the service drive, what's the actual busy hours, what are the tires they should stock, what are the parts they should stock, which are usually going through maintenance. Or so there is an everyday game of service. There's appraisals, there's transparency, there's the customer experience, but there's also the data game, which is the big numbers of what's actually happening with the vehicles for you as the dealers. And what's the big picture, and what are the things that you're missing, and what's the recurring issues. And those are elements which I feel like are the most important at the end of the day.
Sean Butler is on. I know he was on that panel, and we had another panel with Brian Kramer. The title of that, Kara, was The Acceleration of Change. And he talked about exactly what Yaron is mentioning right now, was that intuitively, we need to be able to tell at the dealership what tires to stock, what the vehicle needs are, what are the fast moving parts, what do we have, what don't we have, and to have a tool like UVI, Kara, is amazing technology. And I know you had some questions, as well on that technology front.
And I'm just thinking, Ted, about, the efficiency that it would bring to a dealership. My office is right next to our recon center here, and we have our 3 rooftops with service departments. But I can only imagine how much faster we could run cars through our recon center if we had UBI here, and how many things that we're potentially missing with cars going out on the lot that maybe we haven't noticed, we didn't see from the technician looking. So talk to me a little bit, Yaron, about, because I'm at the dealership level, I want to know, what are dealers seeing that have UBI, that are using it, for a few months in? What are they seeing operationally? What benefits is it bringing? And as the customer as well, talk to us a little bit about that, what the customer kind of point of view might be, because I know I wish I would have been able to inspect some of my cars this way, because I am known to have vehicle trouble. So enlighten me on that.
Okay, so let's speak from the ground up. It goes through a few layers. First layer is efficiency. So like you mentioned, right now the service advisors and obviously the technicians later on, they focus on what they need to focus. So instead of wasting time on inspecting, whether it's with a coin to the tire or needing to put the vehicle on a lift, now you've got the seamless, almost like Apple Store experience. It's somebody drives in, and right there, right then, within 3 to 7 seconds, there is either an SMS or a big touch screen or the advisor screen waiting with the actual condition of the vehicle. So like you mentioned, you can actually process much more vehicles, and you can engage in meaningful conversations with much more people, because you know what is potentially wrong with the vehicle and what's going to happen. So on the first kind of layer, it's efficiency. Second layer is, I know some people refrain from that word of like upsell or ROI, but selling additional services and actually being able to improve profitability on real issues. So because you're now, there's other kind of conversations around tires and torque and EVs and services that maybe dealers are missing today. So once you have this tool, which gives you a complete analysis of below, of the tires, of all angles of the tires, uneven wear, body damage around, um, basically you are exposing all of these opportunities that might have been missed. And we can talk percentages, but all of these different elements, whether below or around or tires, have situations where the dealer is not finding them at the right time. So suddenly you're finding them, and suddenly you're selling much more alignments, much more tires. You're finding underbody issues, and not only that, you're also, if we speak on the ROI side, it's also saving money. Because imagine a customer, and I'm sure dealers that are hearing us now have had customers that complained that someone damaged their rim or damaged their door or did some damage to the car. And suddenly you've got an evidence which is objective that's showing you who drove the car, at what time, how did it look like, with zooming into that frame. So, if you go to a high-end dealer like a Mercedes or like an Audi, the prices of rims are really high, and the fact that we have that objectivity, even if they charge the customer, even if the customer is right or wrong, it's not even that, it's about the transparency. So that's the second side or a second angle. And the third angle is on the day-to-day, it's really the customer experience. We are seeing stats of the net promoter score of dealers that are using us, and it's skyrocketing. People feel like that they are understanding. You go to the doctor, you understand what the doctor is telling you because you see it in front of you. No one is telling you anymore, they're showing it to you. And we're seeing that the customer experience of you leaving your vehicle, getting an SMS, whether it's in the waiting room or actually exiting it at the service lane, the big screen in front of you with your vehicle details, with all the red parts and explaining what it means, is a really different ballgame. So as I mentioned, efficiency, return on investment in terms of actually selling more services that are necessary, and then the customer experience, and then the data, which is high level. It's not the day to day, but that's also super important for dealer principals and general managers as we see it. So I hope I answered your question.
And I love how you mentioned that you considered it an MRI, because I was giving Ted the thumbs up, because last time I talked to Samantha, I said I was trying to explain UVI to somebody in my dealership. And I said I had no idea how to explain this amazing technology. And the one word that I described, or two words, I said it's like a MRI or an X-ray of your vehicle. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I like to hear you say that too.
It's all about storytelling, right? I mean,
Yeah.
technically, we do not look inside the vehicle. We are developing other things to, look at things like batteries and so on. But it's important to say it's external, it's exterior, but there is really a lot you can tell using that. So we like to say an external MRI of the vehicle, if that makes sense.
Okay. Now, Yaron, I know your system, UVI, there's a difference between a laser and I think what you folks use.
Mhm.
What is the benefit of using a system with computer vision and imagery rather than just say a laser? And is there a difference?
I think that, first of all, every technology in its respect, like there's a lot of different tools, a lot of different technologies, everybody has their place. I think that we're pretty, uh, we're pioneering the use of computer vision in the automotive world. There's not a lot of tools that utilize image analysis and this kind of high resolution imagery as we do. The benefits of it is the clarity and the transparency to the customer. There's other tools that could measure different aspects, which is completely fine. But the benefits of using a visual system is what you see is what you get. And the fact that we can show the different angles with the high resolution image, with the timestamp, with the different manipulations we can do to those images, really puts us in a whole new kind of customer experience. So that actually takes us to the side of the holistic angle of utilizing those cameras all over in different areas, because that's essentially what it is, right? It's different collection points of high resolution images, and then a brain that analyzes those pictures. So just having that, especially with all the changes in the industry today of OEs selling direct to consumers, of different marketplaces that are coming to us, autonomous vehicles, EVs, implications on that. These are the kind of tools that could really change the game, in my humble opinion, and just provide a whole different experience. So I really think that having that kind of visual storytelling puts us in that place.
And I like the comments, or one of the comments I see from Jeff Daniel, who's with us tonight. And I think Sean Butler agrees. This really has a whole lot to do. There we go, that one there, about changing the walk around and perhaps CYA when the advisor and the greeter misses a ding. Because human beings, we miss things. But here, the customer's pulling into the service drive every time consistently. We're capturing that information, whether a person sees it or not, and it's recorded, and the images don't lie in most cases, Jeff, right? So I like that.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of words I can throw there, but I think that the bottom line is transparency, because the customer, he really sees what it is. There is no middleman here. It's technology. It's objective. It's improving all the time, and the third certainty around it. But then, like you mentioned, the consistency. It's each time the same. It's the same. It's that's why the cameras and the equipment is at the angles that they are. They take the same image with the same lighting from the same place each and every time. So it works on every model, on every make, on every color, on every year. And that's basically it, right? So giving a consistent, transparent experience that is just the same each time, again and again. I think that's a game changer.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
Mm-hmm. And talk to us about the DMS integration. I'm sure there's people watching us right now wondering if they can bring UBI into their dealership.
So first of all, the answer is yes. We're really scaling, and there's a couple of I would say 100 systems that are on the way to being installed all across the US. So we know how to work with every franchise, every kind of dealership, big, small. Whether it's more service orientated or more towards sales, that's completely fine as well. I think that basically I just lost your question. Could you just take me back again? You asked me
the DMS integration.
The DMS integration, exactly. So as is, the platform is super intuitive. Okay, so you can use it. We can connect to the CRM, and we can send SMSs pretty quickly, even without much integrations. Today, we work with both CDK Global and Techion. So they have integrations which are available that basically can show our report, can show our different detections and push them to the DMS. We have a roadmap, which is, it's something we're working on. And during this year, we're going to expose more and more kind of cooperations. But even if it's not there yet, it's on the roadmap, and we'll definitely, what we really put our attention on is, and we call it performance management, is really making sure the tool is used. So once a dealer installed, we have a dedicated team, whether it's with online resources or coming to the store, that we really try and make all the different hacks and tips and tricks to different roles and people to use the system in the best way. So even if the DMS, let's say it's Reynolds or a few others that we're not integrated yet, we make sure to come there and provide all those, I would say, shortcuts to use it as efficiently. We also have something pretty new as a package, which is offering a service kiosk, which are kind of different touch screens, which we can help tailor, whether it's at the service lane itself or at the waiting room. And those are they work intuitively with our platform. So that is, regardless of any DMS or any kind of software you already have. So the answer is that it can work. It works great from day one. It will provide a super strong impact. And even if the DMS kind of full integration is not there yet, it will come. And that's what's, by the way, really really good about what we do, I think, because once you join us, it's just like one installation, and we keep releasing more and more features and more updates and more integrations. So the idea is that once it's installed and once we help you kind of integrate and get that experience, every other week you're going to get more and more things. You're going to get new damages, you're going to get new shortcuts, you're going to get new reports. So we look at it as a software approach of really developing this with our customers and providing that user experience, as I mentioned.
And finally, Yaron, you're going to be sharing in Dallas I can't believe it's almost December, the following month in January. You're going to be sharing some best practices of dealers who are using UVI and letting the whole world know about that. So I'm looking forward to hearing some of that as well.
Yeah, I think that this is the first time we're actually talking about it. We're calling it the UVI Impact because 2022 has been really terrific for us, and we won this award now, which is kind of a stamp of saying, okay, you're in the industry, people are using this, but it's not only people are using it or it's a cool technology. We are looking at the actual impact and stories that we can collect from our partners. And NADA is going to be all about some of the partnerships that we have with some of the OEMs like General Motors that you guys have shown the video and we talked about in the past. But also we're going to have 2,000 square feet booth. So that's quite a massive booth showcasing our systems. But not only that, we're going to have 6 different stations, and we're actually going to fly dealers with us to Texas, and they're going to tell the story. And we're going to have visual aids and videos, and they're going to tell how UVI has impacted their service lanes, how UVI has impacted their used car appraisal, their sales division. So it's going to be really exciting. And we try to pick really influential dealers, but really, the ones that we feel use our technology best and could really tell that story. So I'm super excited about NADA, and if anyone is listening and is going to be there, is really welcome to come and visit.
So, Kara, Yaron is up here in New Jersey with me, where it's cold, as we were saying a little bit earlier. So, I think we're going to have to get him a cowboy hat, right, when he goes to Texas in January for that event.
Yes, I will hook you up for sure.
Deal.
Cowboy
no
hat.
problem.
All right. Speaking of cowboy hats, earlier that week in January, we're going to have our very first 4-day Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's going to be our 19th event. And, Kara, when is that coming up?
It starts on January 23rd, goes through all the way to the 26th, Ted. 4 days of Fixed Ops Roundtable, all virtual, online. So there's no excuse for you guys to miss it. Our tickets are complimentary once again, so you can go ahead and grab those at fixedopsroundtable.com.
And this is going to be the 4 days leading up to NADA, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's our first 4-day event. Grab your lassos and your cowboy hats. Join us for this epic 4-day virtual event. We've got a lot in store. And I know, Kara, you've got a lot in store for us at that event as well.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
All right. So everybody, I want to thank Yaron and congratulations to you and the team at UVI. On the announcement as an Automotive News All-Star. So congratulations again, Yaron, and we look forward to seeing more and hearing more of the successes about UVI in the coming months. So stay tuned for that, everybody. So Yaron, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, guys. This was great, and looking forward to attending more events and see more people from the industry. At the end of the day, the feedback is the most valuable thing we can have. So really appreciate it. Thank you.
I love it. Okay. And yes, Samantha, we'll have definitely he'll need a cowboy hat. You too, Samantha. I think I'm gonna, although I have a feeling, Kara, she might have one somewhere.
If she doesn't, I'm bringing you one too, Samantha. Thank you so much, Yaron. And
thank you.
Every time I learn about UVI, like I said at the start, it is constantly impressing me. So thank you so much for being on. Hopefully I get to see you at NADA. And I can't wait to hear more from you guys here soon. But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for commenting. If you missed this, catch it on YouTube after. And we will see everyone again on a Wednesday at 8 p.m.